Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. World Sports Updates here, back again with another video. So today's video is really about good news, really about great news, actually. So if you have not been keeping up with training camp, with Chargers training camp, if you have not been, watching, the videos that the Chargers post or reading any of the publications, right, that some of the Chargers beat writers write for, you should know that safety Mark Webb, second-year safety Mark Webb, is popping. And he's been popping pretty much since camp has started, right? And the reason why he's been popping is because Derwin James has been out. He's still in camp, but he's not participating. He's not practicing, obviously due to the contract situation. Now, when I made the Derwin James contract video last week, I completely forgot to mention Mark Webb. And I did say that Derwin James being out was a blessing in disguise. And it was a blessing in disguise for many reasons. And, obviously the main and most important reason was, for Derwin James to avoid any injury in camp. But a secondary reason is Mark Webb has really, come out in this camp and he showed himself to be a player. And, as a Charger fan, I couldn't be happier. If you are a Charger fan, you are happy. You are definitely happy to hear this. Mark Webb was a guy, he was drafted 2021, 7th round. Now, you don't normally have expectations of 7th round picks, but guys coming out of Georgia are really prepared to play in the NFL. And that has been a theme over the past, I want to say 4 years, at least 3 years, but probably the past 4 years. Guys coming out of Georgia are ready to play in the NFL. And I know a lot of people talk about, especially when it comes to college football, you talk about Nick Saban, you talk about Alabama, you talk about all the Alabama guys who come and play in the NFL. And, typically Alabama guys have been good. There might be a few exceptions here and there. But typically the Alabama guys are ready to play. The Georgia guys are ready to play and make plays, though. At least over the past 3 years, the Georgia guys are really showing themselves to be NFL ready, and that program is showing itself to be a pipeline, an NFL pipeline. So if you are a talented high school player, really anywhere in the country, but particularly in the South, if you have an offer from Georgia, you're really going to look at that. It doesn't matter who you grew up being a fan of, whatever. You're really going to look at that, especially if you want to get to the NFL. You're going to go and you're going to visit and you're going to take that seriously because Georgia puts guys in the NFL. And now they're at a point where they are winning national championships now. So the Georgia football program is up and coming. They might be, the next Alabama, coming up here, next 5 to 7 years or whatever. They are a very, very good program. Kirby Smart is the head coach. All the recruiters, all of the assistant coaches there, they all deserve a bunch of credit. There's a bunch of guys from Georgia who are ready to play. The tight end, Trey McKitty, he was a rookie last year. He came in ready to play as well, too, right? Now, he's not a big play tight end. He's not a down-the-field tight end. He's a blocking tight end. But anytime he was in the game, he did his job. He was able to move guys off the ball, and he did what was expected of him. Like, there's not too many programs that produced a bunch of guys from different positions who come in and that are ready to contribute, like, right away. There's not too many programs, not too many college programs out there. So the Georgia Bulldogs deserve a lot of credit for that. And Mark Webb, he definitely falls into that category. The biggest thing about him is that he is going to play a lot this season. Brandon Staley's presser after practice yesterday on Sunday, he said that Mark Webb probably would have played some football down the stretch for the Chargers last year in 2021. But he was out for, I believe, 8 or 9 games with a knee injury. It wasn't a serious ligament knee injury or anything like that, but I guess his knee was pretty banged up. So he was not able to play. He was inactive down the stretch for a good portion of the 2021 season. Now, I do expect him to play a lot this season, and I expect him to play some good football this season. He is a guy, when you watched his film at Georgia, he's got really, really good instincts. And the one thing that you see, if you look at any of the training camp videos that have surfaced from the past 5 to 6 days, the one thing you can see with Mark Webb is that those instincts seem to have transferred over to the NFL because he's making plays. He's making plays on the ball where, maybe you see a Ed Reed make that type of play, a Sean Taylor, rest in peace, make that type of play. He's making really splash plays at safety. And those are the ones that opens everybody's eyes up, and that's what everybody's talking about with Mark Webb is, oh wow, we didn't see this guy do this last year, or maybe he didn't have the opportunity to do it, but he is doing it. He is clearly been studying, right? He's clearly been studying the defense. He clearly knows where he's supposed to be at. And he is getting all of the first team reps with Derwin James out. So he is building camaraderie with the rest of the guys on defense. He's building camaraderie with Nasir Adderley, who's the other safety. He's building camaraderie with the rest of the DBs out there. He's really balling, and he's really stepping up. And he is, like I say, he's going to play a lot this season. Brandon Staley said that he's pretty much playing. He's getting snaps at three positions, right? So he's playing the traditional safety role. Brandon Staley specifically said that they are going to give him some reps at the nickel corner spot, and I thought that was interesting as well too. So him being a nickel corner, he's 6'1", 207. That's what he's listed as. So he's a big guy. I mean, he's not the typical nickel corner size. He is a true traditional safety size, but him being able to come down and play, nickel corner is something that should give you a little insight into what they think of him, because I don't think that they would have, especially Brandon Staley. He does not trust, too many guys playing a nickel corner position. He had Chris Harris, very old, and, pretty much washed up Chris Harris playing that nickel corner position last year, just based off of trusting him because he knew that Chris Harris knew his defense. But Chris Harris was old and washed up, and he's not, he's not what he once was, especially from the athletic standpoint. So Mark Webb being able to take snaps at that position lets you know what Brandon Staley thinks of him. He obviously thinks highly of him, for him to be in that position. So that's obviously a very, very good sign if you are a Charger fan, because that's something that he can do no matter who's on the field. When Derwin comes back, if Derwin's out, he can come down, he can play nickel corner. Obviously, he's able to cover, but I think he's going to be able to make some plays in the running game as well, too, right? He's going to be able to come up, get off a block, especially off of wide receivers. He's going to be able to come up and play some good football in that nickel corner spot. So I thought that was very interesting. The other position that he is learning as well too is the I can't remember what Brandon Staley calls it. Different defenses call it different things. I know some defenses call it the star position. I think it was I think it might have been the star. If I'm wrong, somebody correct me in the comments. But it's pretty much the position that Derwin James plays in certain formations where the Chargers want to get more athletic at linebacker. So Derwin James will come up to linebacker, and normally somebody comes in to take his spot. I think Alohi Gilman normally comes into the game when Derwin James goes up to linebacker. So you got Gilman and Nasir Adderley back there. But Mark Webb has been taking those positions at that star backer spot when the Chargers do run that formation out. So you do have a safety, DB playing a linebacker spot who's pretty much matched up against, whoever the offense's best weapon might be, right? It could be a tight end. Maybe if they're looking for a running back screen or something on third down, then you would slide Derwin James down into that position. But Mark Webb has been taking those snaps, and they say that he is really responding well. He knows exactly where to be, and he is focused, and he's locked in. So this is a very, very good sign for the Chargers. I am ecstatic to hear this news. Very, very ecstatic to hear this news. I'm glad that Mark Webb is popping. Again, shout out to Georgia football, man. They know how to produce guys. They know how to produce guys that are going to come into the NFL, and they're not necessarily going to be stars. They're not necessarily going to be Pro Bowlers or All Pros and all that stuff, but they're going to be guys who you can count on, right? In crucial situations, right? Third downs, whatever, goal line stands, whatever it is, they're guys who know the game of football. They teach the game of football to these guys. Georgia always has a lot of talent. They've always had a lot of talent. Me being the college football junkie that I am, I've watched Georgia football for a long time. Even during, the late, 2000s, early 2010s or whatever, I watched Georgia football and I've seen so much talent there, but they've pretty much almost, always fell off towards the end of the season. They really hadn't been able to put it together. Now they're in a space right now where they're getting better as the season goes on. The past 2 seasons, Georgia football has gotten better as the season went on because Kirby Smart is teaching these guys how to finish. And I think that is a huge component when it comes to college football. If you have a coach that teaches you how to finish, if your program is about finishing and about finishing strong, right? Finishing your regular seasons out strong. If you go to conference championships, finishing those out strong, and then obviously, getting to national championships and being able to finish. So Georgia has always had all the talent. They've always had all the talent. They've always had, the pick of the litter, so to speak, at talent. But they are now in a position where they are winning in college, and then they are, building winning players for the NFL. That's why there were so many Georgia Bulldogs drafted in this past draft. You look at the first round talent that was drafted out of Georgia. Just look at the whole entire draft. What was it, 8 or 9 players or something like that? And then you had a couple more guys on undrafted free agents as well too. So Georgia really did produce a bunch of NFL talent, and they're going to continue producing NFL talent as well too. There's going to be more Mark Webbs out there. There's going to be guys who you're going to be looking at. If you watch college football, there's going to be guys who you're looking at on Saturdays who they may not have the biggest names, and they may not get the spotlight, they may not get the stories and all of that stuff, but they're going to be guys who are going to be competing in the NFL. They're going to be guys who are going to be contributing to teams in the NFL. So Georgia has really, really done the NFL and all 32 teams a great service by really just pumping out guys who are ready to play in the league. This is definitely going to be a golden era for the Georgia Bulldogs. So I'm hoping the Chargers look at more talent coming out of Georgia because obviously, they have done right by drafting a couple of Georgia Bulldogs who are obviously contributing to this team. And, you have a guy, Mark Webb, who untapped potential, right? Nobody really seen too much from him. He has some good film in college, but he wasn't a guy who was really standing out on tape a lot. He kind of got lost in the shuffle a little bit, but he has the instinctual attributes that you look for in a football player, right? Especially for a guy who's going to come in and who's taking all the Derwin James's reps, right? You have a guy that has to have leadership. You have a guy who obviously can learn a playbook, right? Can learn, his spot, learn what to do and all of that stuff. And then obviously just be able to produce physically. If you have all three of those in a player, it doesn't matter what round you draft him in, undrafted, whatever, you're going to get a solid NFL player. And I think that's what Mark Webb is. And this is only the start for him. He's only going to get better. So this is welcome news for the Chargers. If there is any, injury happening to Derwin James or Nasir Adderley, anybody, Bryce Callahan, any of the DBs, he seems like he has the mental aptitude to go out there and learn that position and not just play it, but actually contribute and actually help win games. And honestly, that's what you want, right? That's all you can ask. Really, all you can ask. 7th round picks are normally guys who come in and they're camp bodies, right? They don't have a lot of guaranteed money in their contract, so they can get cut easily. But this guy here is standing out, and I'm glad. I'm glad. All of this stuff lined up at the perfect time. Like I said, the Derwin James situation really was a blessing in disguise because Mark Webb would not be popping like this if Derwin James was out on the field taking all the reps. So, I'm really excited about this. Really excited about the season coming up. Really excited about all of the young talent that is showing up and showing itself capable of contributing to a hopeful, Super Bowl contending team. So definitely excited about this. If you're a Charger fan, you should be excited about this. You should be very, 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 very excited, very ecstatic, and ready to watch what Mark Webb does and ready to watch how he contributes to this team this season. So that's all I got for this one, guys. I will be back tomorrow with more content. Camp, we're right in the middle of camp, and we are getting some good content. And, like I said, if you are not keeping up with the highlights, if you're not keeping up with the publications who are producing the written word from some of the beat writers, then you're missing out. So definitely catch up on some of this camp stuff. And that's all I got for this one, guys. Thank you so much for all the support. Thank you for the comments, the likes, the subscriptions, the sharing the videos, all of that stuff. Please keep it up. It's helping me out in the algorithm a lot. So thank you so much for that. And until next time.